Hi, I'm Matt Wood and welcome to the Model Shed. Hi guys, welcome back to the Model Shed. My name's Matt Wood and previously on some of my own videos I posted some stuff out there of a build from the Avro Vulcan build. So, and unfortunately I never got a chance to post up the part 3 version of it, or whatever I needed to do, just due to one thing or another. This was, I wanted to start building it, that was December 2018 if I remember rightly. I started doing the build, and the build wasn't too bad, and yeah. So I'll let you watch the rest of the part 3. And I've finally found all the rest of the footage, and I've stitched it all together by computer magic and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, please enjoy part 3. Hi guys, okay, right, so I'm back now. We're going to do the panel lines now to the Vulcan. I've mixed up 50-50 of black and thinners to put it through my airbrush. So okay, so with this, don't do any masking with this too much. Obviously, just be mindful that obviously if you've got the canopy off, then just try not to get too much overspray on the canopy. If you do need to mask it, then do mask it. As you say, so you just don't get any overspray on the canopy side. So and then I'm within the cockpit itself. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is, okay. So I've already mixed some up. Keep forgetting how big this thing is now. So okay, what I'm going to cut to the closer camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, so I brought you a little bit closer now. Sorry you can't see me, but hey. Right, okay, so I'm going to turn the pump up. Right, sorry about the dull drone. Okay, so I'm going to make sure my it's clear, and I'm getting some black out, so yeah, so I'm getting some out there. So, okay. So this is very, do a lot of practicing before you actually try and attempt it. Obviously, you need very little paint. You can come in quite close. If you need to turn the air down, you can do a little bit, so you need to come in quite close and make sure you can do some nice lines. Obviously, it's different from going onto paper when you're brushing, when you're doing an airbrush, than going into plastic. Because if there's plastic, you've got more chance for it to run, because it doesn't adhere straight away. So, as often I'm trying to show you here now. So I'm just going to come in quite close, very gently bring it. Bring the needle back. I'm just going to try and do it. So you don't have to worry about too much about any runs and drips things anyway, because it will get faded out once you actually come to do your actual painting of the full colour. So you can come in, you can do all these bits here. So don't worry too much if you get too much overspray on it. So as I said, you will get chance to cover it up with the actual paint that you're using. So again, once you've done an area, just go over with a bit of air. So I'm not pulling back on the trigger to do anything. So then we actually give more colour. So back off the paint a bit. Just give it a quick dry, and then lay some more down. So the closer in you get with this, with the airbrush, the finer the tip will be, but the more paint you're going to put on there. So you got more. So you have a lot of chance of runs. So just ease it back. Nice and slowly. So don't worry about too much if you get a little bit too thick with your panel lines, because you will cover it up with your paint. So a little bit of a run there, so you can just dry it out. So just go over your lines. So always keep your brush moving, because if you stop in one spot too long, you do run risk of getting getting runs and splodges. But it doesn't matter too much on this stage. I know a lot of people say, "Oh no, you've got to get them really fine. You've really got to get in there." I've never worried, to be honest with you, because you can always build up the paint when you come, the actual colour when you come to the later dirt. So it's quite quick. As you're doing, obviously, you need to go over any. Just build it up a little bit at a time. Give it a quick dry. And so on and so forth. So on that. So yeah, just have a quick look down. Make sure you've not missed any other smaller panel lines. Anything you can't see. So which is not too bad. So you can use your little finger on the edge of anything if you want to try and keep a good distance. So it doesn't matter too much if it's all squiggly. It adds depth. If you're too straight, then it doesn't look real enough. It looks a bit too uniform. So I shouldn't worry too much. So I've got a bit of run there, so I'm just going to dry that out. So yeah, so this is really done now, so we're getting there. This is one side done. So it's quite quick, you don't have to. There's a good thing on this side now. You've got where the actual exits are. You have some raised areas, so it is good to go around the outsides of these, because you're going to get weathering on them. Just little areas here. So anything that's like that, so you can go through. So again, you've got some raised bits there. You can give them a bit of a blast. Because it all adds to the depth of your model when you come to your final paint. So you can kind of look back at it, give it a quick blast over without if you see any wet spots, and give them a quick dry. This is fine. So you can always go over any bits that you need if you need to, if you don't think it's caught enough black. Okay, so that's pretty much one side now done now. So yeah, so I mean it's not gone too bad that side of it. So yeah, it looks a little bit weird to start off with. When you start to lay a colour down, it will start to blend. So turn it off a minute. So yeah, so it will start to blend through. So you can. I'm gonna get on to the rest of it now. Obviously, we've got the undercarriage to do as well. So and the belly of the plane to get sprayed up. So I can get on with that. And so yeah, we'll catch you later. Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, right. So I managed to get the rest of the Vulcan all panel lines all done now. So what I've got done next is to fix the canopy in place. So I managed to get that all done. So I'll just show you now. I'll bring that in forward. So I've got it masked up as well, so you can see the green mask all on there. So I've got that all masked all up, and that's in place now. So I'm quite happy with the fit on that now. So you see now everything's all the panel lines have all been done now. So the next step is to mark out all the different areas that you need to paint, because obviously you've got two colours. You've got the green and the grey that's on there. So I'll just show you the box. So as you can see on there, so obviously you've got the different panel lines on. Okay, so when you're using an airbrush, you do get overspray. There's a couple of different methods to do this. You can spray the whole thing in one colour. Is usually do your base colour, which will probably be the grey. So that's your base colour, and then you can do green on top of that, and you can mask out whatever in the areas you need to do to push it through. So the other option is to you can use, again, just your blue tack. So you can make coils or worms, whatever you want to call them, out of these, and you can lay them round in the pattern that you desire. And then obviously in between those areas, and you can just lay some paper or some thicker masking tape over those, so you don't get the overspray. So that's probably what I want to do with this, because it's such a big area. There's a lot of panel lines on it. That's probably the area I'm going to do. And also, it saves you paint, so you don't use as much paint. You don't waste as much paint. So you're only doing the areas that you need to do, rather than do the whole thing and then go over with the green afterwards. So otherwise, you'll end up going through loads and loads and loads of model paint for it. Even though it's thinned out, I mean, you'll probably at least maybe use at least two tins of Umbro to do it. But again, it's how thick you want it, how much panel lines you want it to come through. So, but I say try it, see how you get on. But so for this what I'm going to do, I'm going to use some coils for this. So show you what I'm going to do with this. So I'll just squeeze some out. There we go, that's right. And get that. There we go. So it was a good tip just to get these prepped before you start doing this, and get as much covering as you can within it. I'm gathering I'll probably have to do the top and then do underneath of this, because I've only got this blue tie left now. So right, okay. So yeah, so that's obviously all the decal patterns and stuff, and the paint patterns you've got on there. So what we'll do, good tip is always to have it obviously in front of you. Give yourself a bit of a marking. So okay, so let's have a quick look. So I'm going to make it a bit thinner. Okay, so we start from that side, and so yeah, so hook it around. So you kind of got somewhere to work on, and you can kind of push this around. It's really good, is this? It's really forgiving, and you can move it wherever you need. Okay, so it's very similar. So yeah, so it's very similar to just basically just doing that. So you can mark out. So that's one little bit done, and I'll just do the next bit. So we've got okay. A bit more. Okay, so. Big. Again, just play around the positioning of them, and you get it to what you desire to do. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but obviously I'm just showing you a little way, because the wings are so vast. Obviously, you don't want to waste your paints on them. You'll just end up just kind of spending too much money on the paints. Okay, so we are. Okay. Obviously, because it's not uniform, it's not, and the blue tack isn't always perfectly straight. It adds more, zig lines and swirls to your design of your pattern, that you can do. So. Okay. So there we go. Right. So yeah. So I've just done like just in the area. So these bits here will be green, and this bit in there will be the grey. So so obviously you can finish this off. So yeah. So I can get carried on with that, and then I can do these. And I can get this all masked off, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about going through the paints and the airbrush. Okay. I'll spin a bit. Hi guys, okay, we're back, and okay, so I managed to finish off the majority of the masking that I can do with the blue tack, and I've already mixed the paint up for it. So this is number 164 Umbro, which is a satin grey, and so yeah, so I've done a 50-50 mix for the airbrush, and I'm going to get to try and get some paint on this now. So basically, the trick behind it, I said, once we've got this done, so blind passes, build it up slowly, so you can kind of still see the desired effect from the panel lines underneath. So I've done a little bit to try and show you. So yeah, so I've started there. Okay, and obviously I'm going to build these up a little bit further up. See, obviously it's darker, and then the middle bits are a little bit lighter. So hopefully this will work quite well. As you build it up and keep building it up until you've got the right desired effect that you want between the panel lines, and obviously the more paint you put down, the more it will cover the black of the panel line. So yeah, so I mean, give it a shot and see how you get on. And yeah, so what I'll do now is I'll just show you how I'm getting on. Turn this on. Sorry about the noise. Again, make sure I've got the flow. Yeah. Bring that through there, okay. So yeah, so it's trying to get underneath, Any splodges as well that you've had because of the panel line creation, you can clean them up, and it's really, you know, you should really try and get in, and you know, really try and get into the oh, that's too much. That's a bit too much of a heavy one. Sorry about that. Okay, right. This is a good tip actually. If you're doing anything like this, so turn it off, mate. So if you notice, I do have a little bit of an overspray. I'm sorry, bring it in. So I do a bit of an overspray here. Which was my fault, I slipped. So yes, we all make mistakes. So okay, so what you can do is just try and mop that up a little bit. You can dry it, but you're more likely probably just have a big splodge still. Just gently roll a cotton bud just over it, just to pick off, because if it's still kind of damp and tacky. You can just take that out, just dab it away, so you don't get that thickness. And so, I'm probably teaching people to suck eggs again, but you know, it does help a little bit. So very gentle. I mean, I'm only very, very lightly touching this, just to be able to take that splodge off, and I'm not going too far out, so you just kind of work it out. There we go, that's a bit better. Then I can paint over the top of that now. I'll turn that back on again. To build that up. Work in the middle really light, build it up slowly. Keep your airbrush moving. Okay. I mean, if you want to work by panel, you can. That's not a problem. That can help some people. Very light passes. Slowly build it up. And again, as I said, light passes and more of them, rather than one big splodge. Otherwise you get what had happened a minute ago. And you get a pool. It wasn't concentrated. Nice and light build up. Go over the bib air to make sure you've got a little bit, it's dry. Obviously don't be afraid to turn the model around as well, because obviously, if I'm facing one way, then I'm only going to get that direction. I'm not going to get inside of that. So I can get in there. Okay, so anyway, I'll carry on with this, so you can see what kind of progress it's making now. So I'll just turn this off again. There we go. So you can see what kind of progress that's making now. So you can kind of still see the panel lines in there. So it does show up quite nicely. Obviously it's got a bit of light on this, so you'll see it even more. But obviously once you build it up, it'll become subtle. And you can only just about see it. If you're in the naked eye, you can just about see the panel lines. And the you know, so it kind of works, but obviously this shows it up more because the light's different. But so, you know, again, play with it, slowly build it up, and see how you get on. But yeah, that should be okay. Right, that's me. I'll see you in a bit. Hi guys, welcome back to my Avro Vulcan build. Okay, so when we left off, I was looking into masking off and painting up the various areas of Vulcan. So I managed to do that. So it's taken me some time to get this post up to you. So it was a bit of a beast to do. So I managed to do that. I've also managed to get all the landing gear in as well to try and obviously see how it fits and see how we go with it. So okay, so here we go. I'll just give you a quick run through. There we go. So yeah, so I managed to get all this. I always painted it all up. It's not done too bad. What I did find was the colour that it suggested in the actual instructions was I found it a little bit too dark. I get it's each to their own, I suppose. But you know, so what I did was I still painted it the same colour, but then I had the next shade up, which was it was a 165. So the 164 that it suggests to use. I went for the 164 first off, and to do the darker grey, and then I went then I blasted it with a 164 shade. So basically, what that would give me was I went through really close with the airbrush. And on each panel, I blasted it with the colour for each panel. So I started off in the middle of each panel, and then just slowly, gradually came out to the sides. It gave me a little bit extra weathering on there as well, and it kind of made it look a bit like it's been used rather than brand spanking new. You know, I was trying to get a little bit more realism in there. So as you can see, sorry if you can see underneath there, so you kind of see that it's kind of picked out some more detail underneath the fuselage, and also and on there, so you can see quite clearly now. There's a bit more detail that it's picked out, a little bit more weathering. To me, I find that looks great. Obviously, you know, I suppose down to each to their own how it looks. So, and also as well, as I've got all the landing gear in. These were quite fiddly, but it didn't go too bad. Managed to paint all these up okay, and also I've got all the insides of the wheels done. The two sections and the section on this side, these are actually separate. I had to obviously scrape some of the paint away to be able to get it to adhere to the main strut. So yeah, it didn't go too bad at all. There was a few other sanding issue bits I needed to address. But otherwise, it's not done too bad. And obviously, I've got the middle section in now where the bomb bay is. I didn't put the bomb in because I have a plan for that. When I do my diorama for it, I'm going to try and see if I can get hold of like a loading cart and have the bomb sat to one side as it's trying to be loaded up. So that's my thing. So, but that's my idea for it anyway. If it works, I don't know. I hope it does. So yeah, so that's coming on quite nicely. So the moment, now that's done. I painted up the sections for the landing gear covering. So these are all they've been drying at the moment. So I'll see if we get on here for you. So yeah, so just landing gear covering. So I just painted these up. I'm not too sure if I'm going to match these up with the. I think some of them do match up with the actual green on on the for the markings for the camouflage, but we'll see. I'll see what he does. I'll see how it goes because these are going to be open anyway, so you probably might not see. You probably wouldn't see that too much, but I'll see what happens with the realism. I think I probably want to do one of them, maybe. I don't know. I'll see what happens. So yeah, my next step was so obviously I've now done that, and I've got all those painted up. So I've got the canopy on. To have a bit of a recap, so I've got the canopy on, that was all masked up. That's still masked up at the minute, because obviously I'm going to take that off to the very, very latter end to obviously keep the gloss of the glass. I will hit it with some clear afterwards as well anyway, so so my next step is all to get all the fiddly bits on. So I've been doing the I've got the set of ladders here as well, so these have been drying overnight, you can see them. So we've got the ladders here. So I hit these with black first, matte black, mainly to give it kind of a bit of a prime. When you're painting with yellow, it's very translucent colour. The yellow that I use is Humbrol's number 69. You can see that on there. So number 69 Humbrol. And it's kind of very translucent colour is that. So if you're going to go and paint onto a grey, you're better off painting it black first. The colour will be a lot more vibrant, and it will give you a deeper colour to that. And then spray it small and build up those layers. And when you're painting with translucent colours, which you get that with a blue, I mean, some blues as well and some reds, very, very similar. Because they're very translucent, you hit it and you can still see the black through it. Hit it, let it dry a little bit, and then hit it again. Keep hitting it with an airbrush or whatever you're using, but very, very little amounts, especially if you're using wet and dry. Sorry, if you're using dry technique, again, very small. Build up those colours because it is a very translucent yellow, especially with enamels. So anyway, moving on. So yeah, so I've still got all the little pieces to do, so I've got the. You can see that very well. So this is the hatch from underneath. So what I did with this is the hatch that would have. I'm going to have to keep this open as it's as I'm trying to show some detail. So what I did to do some googling on this as well, and what colour the actual hatch ladders are and things like that, trying to get a little bit of realism. So I did find them were yellow, so that's why I painted them yellow. So yeah, it went through quite nicely. So what I did with this, I hit it with black first, and try and pick out the ladders. I sprayed the top of that yellow, as you see, and then I covered on the top with so just 1mm, 2mm tape, and then hit it with black again to try and cover up the yellow overspray that I had. I mean, you could hit it with yellow first again if you wanted to. It depends. But I wanted to hit the black first, give it some depth, so it gives it a bit of a prime, and then I covered it over with a 1mm. With a 1mm, 2mm, I can't remember. 1mm, 2mm tape. So just on top, just cut it really small. Took my time with it, and then just sprayed it over. Then spread the black over the top of that. So that's where we are at the moment. So it's just taking. Sorry, it's been taking me a little bit of time to come back to you for this side of it. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. I'm very much enjoyed doing this build, and there is a few more bits to do, all the fiddly bits. I was saying we've got a lot of the. So we've got a lot of the. All the underneath bits about to put on there, and also the engine ends engine exhaust to put on. So yeah, it's not looking too bad. So anyway, I'm going to carry on with the rest of this, and hopefully I can try and get to you soon. What I'm planning on as well, when I come to do the diorama, I'm trying to hopefully try and get some videos of the diorama, and maybe building the diorama with it as well. That's the plan. So anyway, hope you stick with us, and I'll catch you soon. Hi guys, Merry Christmas! Welcome back to the My Avro build. Just thought I'd give you a quick update on the build that I'm doing so far. So far I have gone through and done all the colouring as I've shown you in the previous on the previous episode. And we have I've put actually on all the rest of the landing gear flaps, and so I'll show you underneath. So here we go. So yeah, so I'll pull that lot on, and also put on the actual hatch as well for the entrance hatch. So obviously my next step now will be to do the clear coats, and also getting on the get the decals on. So right, so for the clear coat, what I do use, reach down there, grab that, is wonderful thing. Pledge. I know it might be quite mad. A lot of people have been using this because it's inexpensive. It's very cheap. I think this cost me £6 off eBay, and it's like an acrylic kind of base, and it's very, very thin. So you can hear it sloshing around in there. So I shall show you. It's a kind of a looks like very watered down PVA. And when you pour some out, there we go. So there we go. So it looks like very watered down PVA. So this stuff you can push through an airbrush quite nicely. It goes through quite well. Now I've already shot this. I've already shot this once now with one coat, so I don't need to do any more on this now until I come to do the decals. So I just wanted to show you. This. So yeah, so I'm very, very chuffed with it. I've done this one. I've used this on quite a few models now, and it's brilliant, absolutely fantastic. And also as well, added bonus, it smells nice. So. But I would suggest, if you are using this, you are spraying this, I would suggest to wear a mask. Definitely. I don't want anybody to get high on it. Really not. So yeah, and obviously use a very, very well ventilated room when you if you're using that. Have your windows open if you've got a booth that you've got if you've got a suction booth. Definitely use that with it. It does smell, and it can get it back in your throat. So I would definitely admit to definitely wearing something. So okay, so I'm going to put the decals on. So my decals are over here. Just grab this, excuse me. Okay, so there's the decal pattern. So okay, so I'm going to put these on. So from the decals, I use like a decal fix. So we got a Humboldt decal fix. So this is instead of using this stuff is brilliant. I wish I had this when I was a kid, when I was a lot younger. So I'm just going to adjust the camera. There we go, so yeah, so this stuff has been absolutely brilliant. So if you've never used this before, you can use it instead of water. So if you want to use water first to loosen everything up, you can do if you want to kind of save this. But this will make your decals softer, and they will actually really bleed into any panel lines you've got, and then you can also apply more later on once it's dried, and you can really push the decal into any recesses or into any panel lines that you've got. And obviously on this has got on the Vulcan has got raised panel lines, so it's it should blend quite nicely over the top of that. So that'll be quite nice. So so what we'll do is we'll have a look, and we'll get my little pot. Okay, so yeah, so if you've got a shallow little pot, you can use this for the panel lines. So we can pour a little bit of this in. Okay, so yeah, so we can use some of this. So we can pour a little bit into your tub. So you can also reuse this again. So obviously, if once you finish, you can pour it back into the bottle. So there's no problem at all. So some things out of the way. So obviously, have your decal instructions to hand as well whilst you're doing this. So okay, so we've got so we got you got your roundels. Okay, so we're going to have a quick look at the roundels on this. Now you see you've got obviously you've got 4 rounds. So you got the two big ones. Obviously we're going to those are going to go on the wings. So as we've got on there. So I can put them. So what I'm going to do, I get some scissors. This is gone with here. Right. So we can cut them out. Obviously, I'm not going to show you this one. So if you've got a good set to do, then I would do a few at a time and let them and let the decal solution react to the decal itself. So that's that one cut out. So I'm going to put that one in there. So it doesn't matter which way around you put it in. You flip it around, and as you do it, so you give it a tap and then push it into the liquid. So you can see now. So you can see that it's actually raised up there now a bit. So it's starting to the solution's starting to sink in. So we can leave that there. So once that one's settling, I'll cut the other one out as well. Okay. Right. So put the oil in there. Give a tap and it should sink in. Move around. Okay. Okay. So those are going to take a few moments to dissolve the glue on the decals. Okay. So we'll do that. Right, so I'll leave them there. Okay. So whilst they're going soaking up, I'll leave them a few moments. So yeah, so I mean, otherwise the Vulcan's not been too bad. I'm actually really impressed with the kit so far. There has been a few issues, obviously, which I mentioned on some of the other posts I've put up. Obviously, you learn and you grow with it, I suppose. So yeah, I mean, otherwise I'm really, really impressed with this. I can't wait to get this mounted onto onto diorama, and hopefully we can it'll be quite a nice little showpiece. I mean, if I had a lot more time on it, obviously it would take me a lot longer to do. If I had another one, then I could you could put lights in it and things like that if you wanted to, put some LEDs in the wings, because the wings have got quite a lot of space in them to actually put some cables and things through, and so yeah, it's well, whatever you want to make it really. But I haven't done this one, but it's. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this so far. I'm very, very chuffed with this. I hope you guys will be too when you come around to doing your own Vulcan. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll let these sink in, and once they're ready, I'll come back to you in a moment. I'll see you in a sec. Right, okay, okay. We'll just have a quick play with these couple of decals. So these look like they're starting to get ready now. So once they've been in for a while. You can see the glue's starting to separate now, so I brought you in a bit closer now, so you can start to see now they're starting to move quite nicely. So put that back in there for a moment. Okay, so with the model itself, make sure that it's nice and clean. There's no dust or anything like that on there. That's just to get sticky. Okay. So what we can see on obviously on here now, because we've got some panel lines on here. You should be able to see where the position of either the two of the roundels will be. So once it's nice and clear and you've got the actual model prepped. So what we can do now is, sorry if the camera angle's a bit wonky. So what I would suggest is to take a Q-tip, and you can pop it into over here so you can see it. So just dab it in, and you can mark up, kind of match up where you want to be with the roundels. I'll move that round so I can see. Okay, so this one's just just above there, so we can so it's going to be around about this area, so we can kind of give it a quite a liberal coating of this stuff. This will not react with the paint. It's purposely made like that way. So I'm just going to keep that in there. So we can take one of the roundels. Okay. Sorry, get my hand sticky on this now. So we can place it on top and just a little bit, and we're going to slide it on, hopefully, without tearing it. Okay, so now because I've already put some on there, you can slide it around still, so you can see that. So you can still slide it around, so you can get the right position that you want. I think, remember right, that looks okay there. So yeah, so you can leave that there. So any excess you've got, now the other side of this Q-tip, off a minute. The other side of the Q-tip, leave it dry. You can mop up any excess that you've got around the edges by rolling it around, and you can start to mop all these bits up. As you can see, just kind of mop it up a little bit. Obviously, it will dry, and it won't affect anything. And obviously, hold one side of the decal and just gently brush any excess off it, and you can start to see it starting to slowly shrink actually into the panel lines. Obviously, be careful not to move too much. If you can take your finger off, make sure you've got a firm grip on one side of it, and just slowly keep just taking any excess off, and eventually it will start to sink into the panel lines. And obviously make sure you get any air bubbles out if you've got any air bubbles in there. Now if you've got air bubbles in there, you can suffer from silvering, which basically starts to lift, and you get air underneath of it. So just slowly start to get the air out. And obviously, because this has got raised panel lines on it, so this is helping a little bit in some ways to anchor it. This is another reason why also as well we lacquer the plane first, or lacquer the model first. So it gives it a bit of protection, because you are doing a little bit of light rubbing on a model, so you're not rubbing the paint off accidentally. And let's see. So I'll show you now. So we see you've got. I don't think we'll be able to see that on there. Yeah, so you start to see that it's actually starting to sink into the panel. So we can let that dry. So and once that's dry, then you can do it again. A little bit more decal solution, and you can start to embed it more, and it'll sink into any more panel lines. Obviously, if you're doing this, just be careful not to knock any of your doodads off. Okay, I'm back to do. I'm going to be careful. So yeah, I'm going to do the other side as well. So the other side is pretty much the same as well. So on that side there, yeah. So again, we're on the inner. So we're on the inner wing on this one now. So again, we can take the Q-tip. Nice liberal coating. Gives it something to anchor to, so we can now make a pair of tweezers. We can slide that to the edge, and we can slide it off. And slide the paper away, put the paper away. So yeah, so again, we've got a nice bit of movement there on the round arm on the decal. Modelling. Okay, there we go. So any excess we can put it onto the cloth and take it off. Okay. So again, mop up any excess. So this is pretty much, you know, the only way really you can do this. I mean, there might be some other ideas out there to put the right, you know, to put your decals on. Let's move that a little bit. So again, if you do move it, you know, you've got enough solution underneath to keep it fluid, so you're not, you know, so if you do knock it, you can reposition it again. Okay, right. So you can also, if you've got a bit too much on there, you can just take a bit of tissue and or blotting paper, and you can just soak up any excess. And, you know, again, making sure there's no air bubbles in it. Lifted it. So obviously, if you've got something that's got a lot of panel lines on it, then you'll start to see it sink in. It'll start to anchor better as well. There we are. So we can leave them to dry now. So they take a little while to dry, but obviously the more solution that you use on it, just to bed them in, it'll become better, and it'll become you'll really sink into the actual model itself. So anyway, I want to get on the rest of these. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to get on the rest of these now, and hopefully I'll come back to you later. See you in a bit. Hi guys, welcome back again. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that was informative, and hope you enjoyed just generally watching the rest of the video. So now obviously we've seen you've seen some of the rest of the build, and obviously you can hopefully tackle it yourself if you need to. It wasn't a bad build actually. To be fair, there was a couple of fitting issues you probably saw, but nevertheless, it was done pretty much okay. Yeah, so. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut some footage of the Vulcan for you.